Alrighty then, we've got Gino, and it's probably his last day before he gets turned over to his owner a bit more. His owner's had a few rides on him now, but from here on in, his sort of owner will do a little bit more and I'll do a whole lot less. This is his first time at QSEC, which is the Queensland State Equestrian Centre in Brisbane, in Australia. So yeah, it's his first time in here, and I've walked around the fence either direction and he was pretty cool with it. And now we're sort of onto the meat and potatoes part of the workout. We haven't lunged him or anything. He's just come in cold. He still had 2 or 3 days off. So like we said, he's had a little look around. Now we'll get into making sure he's moving off my leg and listening to all these controls, and we've got some focus happening. He's had 2 or 3 rides or so since the last video that we took of him. So he's a little fiddly today, a little pushy on the bridle, but I think some of that's just because he's a little excited. So he's not quite paying attention as good as he normally would, but so far he's kind of proven to be one of those horses. He'll do about 5 minutes of being goofy and then he kind of dials in and starts work. And like a lot of young horses, that just slowly over time gets less and less the more he goes to work. Oh boy. So I think when I first mentioned doing these exercises on him, this direct band and counter band, I do these exercises every day, do them at a walk and a jog. I will back in a half circle each way, like an S pattern, going backwards and then back up straight. And that's kind of my standard warm-up for every horse every day. He's still a little bit green for me to ask him to back in circles. I'm happy if he just backs up nice and soft in a straight line. We're getting a little bit more particular about these exercises each time. So when I take him around the side, I'm using a little bit of both reins because I'd like him to flex vertically as well as laterally. So his chin's coming down more towards the point of his chest as he goes around. Just clucking to him there because I could kind of feel his feet dying. So it's just to remind him I wanted to stay up in a trot. Oh. And he's doing a little bit of being lazy in his stops of late, where sometimes, not all the time, he'll do what he just did then, and he's nice and soft, and then I'll sit back, and he's just kind of sticking his nose out and seeing whether he can just pop his nose out, which will consequently, nose will go out, shoulders will go down, he'll stop on his front end. Excuse me. It's kind of a lazy way for him to stop. But, so physically a lot easier for him to do it that way. It's not really being rude, just being a baby, trying things out. These pivots on the hind quarter are all getting a little smoother. He's getting a bit more confident with them, which is great. Good. Because he's a really confident horse. He's been great in here for the first time. A lot of horses get a little bit intimidated by the atmosphere in here, but he's taken it all in his stride. So a lot of times in a new arena, I just walk a lap of the arena in each direction and let them have a little look around and see which areas they might be a little spooky with, and spend a little bit more time working around there until they're over it, and then try to work them like it was any other day. And he didn't really spook at anything. He's a little bit, I don't know, distracted, I suppose, sort of semi-excited by the atmosphere, but nothing major. So I'm going to ask him to just work straight away. It'd be the odd time, some horses I might just give him a loose rein and just let him pop around, but he's kind of getting a little bit beyond that already, so I'm going to ask him for a good transition straight up. It's kind of like if your horse was a little mentally flaky and they were looking around and very distracted and very worried. Sometimes giving them more to think about will stress them more. Sometimes giving them more to think about will help take their mind off it too. So you've really got to judge your horse and sometimes experiment. But in his case, he's not very worried, so I'm pretty confident to just go ahead and pick him up almost straight away. I'm still going to do a little bit of framing up, asking him to maintain that for a little while, and then turn him loose again. I'll step him up into a lope. The transition I was real happy with, and he sort of felt a little wriggly afterward. It's like a little playful, but not much. Just here where he gets to going a little quick, I'm just sort of putting him in a little turn, framing him up. Because that's kind of what I'd like him to think when I draw on him. Slow down, turn, soften. Sort of being a little lazy here, but I'm also testing myself and him a little. I know he's gone good, so I'm just a little bit playing around with going one-handed. Obviously we're a little too relaxed. Alright, we'll set him up now for a stop. Whoa. It does really good. So like his other stop when we were walking and trotting and he was distracted trying to do his own thing, he kind of stuck his nose out. That one you could see he stayed really soft, stayed within the bridle really well. So he's doing a great job in here for his first time. I've had some horses in here that, yeah, they had major issues in here for the first time. We had to lope them around for a long time before they'd sort of settled and just kind of dealt with it. But he's already like, oh, well, it's just another day at the office. Alright, well, step him up into a, oh, actually give him a little bit longer walking. Though he's not really breathing heavy, but let's give him a little longer rest break. Yeah, it's kind of my philosophy in new arenas. Let them have a look at everything and then treat it like another piece of dirt that, you know, they need to kind of pay attention in. All right, we'll step him up into a jog again. I'll just pick up a soft feel. No extra lag, like I'm just wanting him to build into a jog really smooth. And transition should be just like changing gears in the car, really, really smooth. It shouldn't be jerky or quick or fast. And if he's a little slow and like too slow and too relaxed about it, I can always lag him and push him through it. But if he's quick and bothered and concerned about them, then I have to pull on his face, and that always looks worse from a judging point of view. But, you know, on top of that, we obviously don't want to pull on his face either. You know, whatever we can do to stay out of his mouth would be great. Ultimately, all we want that bit to do is just help to position him to do his job a little better. It's like a polishing tool. I don't really want to have to use that bridle for control too much. Now, that doesn't mean in the training process that I won't use it for control, and I might pull him around and have to get hard on him and all sorts of things. But I'm always working towards, you know, the bridle's just a polishing cloth. Alright, we'll come around here when we're side on the camera and see if we can build up into a lope again. So you can hear me kiss to him a few times before I start to lag him and push, because it's a request followed by a physical backup. It's like when we stop, we ask him. If he doesn't stop, then we'll talk. When we ask him to go, I'm just going to ask him to go. If he doesn't go, then I'm going to do something physical about it. But I want everything to kind of be a bit of a request more than anything else. But he has to know that if he doesn't listen to that request, there's consequences too. And as he gets more advanced, you know, those requests become more subtle maybe. The maneuvers get harder in a way. And he's got to pay attention almost immediately. But that's an evolution. Well, it's not an overnight thing. Good boy. So again, he's being a bit of a star. He's only sort of argued about things, I think, twice in this little process. And from here on in, like, we do the right thing by him. We might be playful one day, but I don't think he's going to argue about anything at all, which is super cool. All right, we might walk down the other end and just work down the other end of the arena. So there's a few more distractions down this end. Obviously some horses down in the arena 2 here, working around, going over some poles, and they're kind of bumping them a little. There's some horses tied on the end fence, so, you know, a few little distractions, but I'm not really expecting a big deal out of him. You know, you shouldn't have too big an issue with it. And if you were to do the same sort of work this end, just walk, jog and lope nice each way. I'll probably quit him there. So just giving him a little bit of free time. What I'd love for him to do in his free time is what he just did through that section. He's kind of just lowered his head and couldn't really be bothered and just jogged along. And this is a very slow jog for a lot of people, but I like a slow jog. I think if this is what my horse's default setting is, I can always rise to the trot, I can always speed him up, I can always put more leg on. If my horse gets used to going fast early on, it's usually a lot harder to slow him down. So I really like to establish a nice slow rhythm first. And how long that takes kind of depends on the horse. He's probably going to be a little quicker than most, but I want to make sure it's really well established before I start speeding up. So it could be a few months. So same deal, we'll just kind of shape up a little bit for lead departure. I'm just kind of holding him in frame and niggling at him to go. So you can hear me kiss to him, and that's my verbal request. He does need a little bit of leg, but there's still a verbal request followed by leg later. What I don't do is throw the rein to him and get him to run, because if I lean forward and throw the rein, he's just going to trot out really fast. So I keep my weight back, I keep his nose tucked in a little, and I ask him to lift up into it, not stick his nose out and run into it. A lot of people do that, especially on a young horse, if they don't go straight away. I start leaning forward, throwing them a heap of rein, and of course the horse just trots out. Oh, bit of a trip and a stop, but anyway, that's okay. So pretty nice ranch pleasure movement, I would think. Still carrying this quirt, but I haven't used it for ages, but anyway, it's there if I need it. I think he's a bit beyond that now. But yeah, he's going very cool. Very nice little horse. So he's breathing just a little heavy, so we're just going to wait till he catches his breath. It's obviously really good for him to stand around anyway. You know, just get patient and stand around and be cool. Just walk him a little. So sometimes standing too long, they'll stiffen up a little bit, or they'll get a little bit of fractious about having to go back to work. And yeah, sometimes it's better to just wander around. He's obviously can still catch his breath. Oh. Right, we'll give him one more little lap this way, and that'll be a really good day for his first day in here. talking for a little while there, but I was just working through his headset. As in, he just wanted to push into the bridle a tiny bit, and he's already doing, you know, really good walk-jog transitions, so may as well keep them going and make them a habit, which is what we ultimately want to do too, is make excellence a habit in ourselves and in our horses. We've all got to start somewhere. Your green horse is going to get some allowances for that. So do people, but ultimately, you know, we got to progress and keep moving forward. All right, set him up for a lope again. So sometimes it gets a little sticky on this rein, this direction, so I'm a little bit more inclined to, okay, steer, soften, come on, and turn him loose. He's doing that bit on his own. Pick him up, steer again, turn him loose. So it's usually what happens with the young ones, if they've got an issue, they start leaning into a cue, make the cue really definite, and then back off. Make the cue definite, leave him alone. Like, I'd like you to move over there. When he moves over there, turn him the hell loose. Let him know that that was the aim of the game. When you micromanage and you turn a little, turn a little, turn a little, turn a little, sometimes they'll kind of lean into that. And it's not very long before, like, here he is on this circle, just holding that line and staying with me. So, you know, doesn't usually take too much. And he's lifting his shoulders pretty nice now when I collect him up. He's flattening out pretty quick now, but I think he's also getting a little tired. So, so we need to pick a point to stop. Unfortunately, even though I was thinking about stopping, we can't stop there because he chose to. I just got to keep going a little bit longer. Oh. Because even though it was probably time to stop, if we'd have stopped then, it was like he made the decision and we went with it. That can be a dangerous, you know, a dangerous road if we're not careful. So just go a little bit longer and stop when I say. But yeah, he's gone super cool. I always find it a little bit funny on videos, you sort of, so we have a highlight reel and a full length sort of reel that we're doing, is because I'm on video, I keep wanting to do things. I just got to stand and he's got to stand and we've got to just chill. So yeah, we could go lope him around the arena and do all sorts of things with him, but you know, physically he's still done a fair bit and he's done a wonderful job. You know, like he's obviously getting better every ride, getting softer every ride, so I don't want to overdo it. Next time Rainier will get off these circles and start moving out a bit more. I've obviously done that a bit here and there, but just introducing him to this sort of a little bit more atmosphere. As you can tell, we're coming under lights as well. So he's working into the evening, which is also a first for him. He's done a great job. And as soon as I quit riding, he stops, which is awesome. give my horse lots of rubs because they're doing the best job they can with the human they got stuck with. Alrighty, I'll try and be a better human so he can be a better horse. Might be cool too. Alright, we'll catch you on the next one. We might do some more videos of Gino at some point. If people are interested, just on his progress. Other than that, g'day everyone. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I'd just like to highlight some ways that you can support the channel a little bit more that are completely free. Like the video, subscribe, please leave a comment, whether you like it or you don't like it. Either comment's welcome. And that just supports the YouTube algorithm and helps the channel grow, which enables me to make more videos, more contact, and help more people. Thank you very much again, and keep watching. Cheers. Bye.